Hey there, I'm Terry Thomas, and welcome to Terry's Next Chapter. Today I'm talking about a genre that I'm leaning into this month, which is cozy mysteries. And I've been having some fun with it. I've actually discovered that I like some cozy mystery, and I definitely want to explore this genre even more. Now, just to let you know, I will be looking at some notes during this video because I definitely have some ideas of different books that I want to explore. So I'm going to be checking those out. But there have been two cozy mysteries that I've read already that I want to talk a little bit about, and then I have a few that I want to explore because I want to dive into this a little bit because I really enjoyed, especially one of them, and so I'm the type of person that I really love to explore different settings, people with different backgrounds. So I've done a little research to try to find some stories that have a mix of things, different people, and like I said, different settings. So yeah, I'll be talking about those. But first, I want to start off with the book I really like the most, which is On What Grounds by Cleo Coyle. Cleo Coyle, yes. This was a five-star for me. And what I really loved about it, first, I really love the main character. Her name is Claire Cosi. She's grounded. She's a little bit funny. She's a woman who is, you know, getting close to 40. She has an adult daughter who, well, just a young adult, like around 20. And she has an ex-husband. She has a mother-in-law. The mother-in-law owns this coffee shop that she comes back to work in. And what I like about it, about her character in particular, is she's more grounded. A lot of times you read some of these stories and it just seems like they're trying too hard or like she's trying to be too funny. And I don't know. I really like this. This was a good balance. There was some humor, but it was also just grounded. She seemed like a normal person, and I like that. Um, what also I liked about it is it leans into the community. So you have characters that you can kind of tell. This was published, I think it was 2003, and there's been a lot of books. So I'm super excited because I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to leaning into this series. It's the Coffee House Mystery Series, and it's set in New York City, in Greenwich Village, in a coffee shop. And yeah, so you kind of are getting to know the characters, so you can kind of tell that she had plans. Or, well, I found out Cleo Coyle is actually a pseudonym, and I don't remember their actual names, but it's a married couple who wrote this series, and then there's another series I'll talk about in a little bit. But they it takes place, like I said, in this coffee house, and you're getting to know characters. So you can kind of see that the plan is they're going to be writing a whole series, and they're introducing like a police officers and hospital staff. There's a dance studio. So you're kind of getting an introduction, but it's not too much. It's just like touching on. You got the baristas. So you're seeing that this could grow in different ways. Like there's possible love interests. There's guys she's kind of like hinting at that she might have chemistry with. And then her ex-husband is around, and that's simmering a little bit too. So there's lots of fun things about this story. Don't want to give spoilers at all, but I just thought it was a great introduction to a series, and I'm really looking forward to leaning into it more. Yeah, so on what grounds by Cleo Coyle, five-star for me, like I said. So that's my first, and this book is what really got me excited because I love found family in stories. I love when New York City is a character. I've talked about that in other videos. So yeah, so I'm really excited about where this could go. I really, like I said, I like her grounded character, and I'm really, I'm happy to see that this is something that I can lean into. So I do want to read more of her books. Okay. So the second cozy mystery that I did read that I didn't like quite as much, I mean, it was interesting, but I'll get into it. Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. It it fell more like a 3.5 star for me. I did like it in that it had a good story, a good plot. It was twisty and turny, so it's very clever. So if that's your kind of thing, then you'll love this. But I'm just more of a character driven reader, so I didn't find the characters as well developed or as much potential. They seemed more like, I don't know, like they're they're kind of one-dimensional right now, and maybe it changes over the series. I don't know, but they seem like they're distinct characters, and it was more leaned on the plot, which was great. So if that's your kind of thing, then you probably love it. And this is a well-loved series, so I'm sure a lot of people love it. I just found it to be a little bit too much on the plot, and I'm more about, like I said, characters. So anyway, it's a really good, it's good for that. It's good for plot. I honestly though felt like I was getting whiplash. Like it just seemed like there was like so many twists and turns. So if you like that kind of thing, then go ahead and read Thursday Murder Club. I did enjoy it overall. It was an interesting read, fun. It just didn't give me like that depth that I like in the character side of it. But we're all different, right? Okay. So other books and series that I want to explore. Well, first of all, I want to read Through the Grinder, which is the second book in the Coffee House Mystery series by Cleo Coyle. And that, actually, I already ordered the physical books. I don't really talk about, I mostly listen to audiobooks. And I get a lot on Libby and Hoopla. And I test out new authors usually that way before I buy physical books. But because I liked On What Grounds so much, I actually ordered that and Through the Grinder, which is the second book, so I can have the physical copies, because if I'm going to reread, I like to have physical copies. My favorite books, I tend to have the physical copies. So anyways, I'm definitely getting that. This one is about, the business is booming in the coffee shop, it says, and um, what's her name? Claire Cosi, sorry, Claire, the main character, has a new love interest, but all of a sudden, female customers start to die. So we don't know. And guess who is the suspect from the police? But her new love interest. So I'm looking forward to reading that and seeing where that goes, seeing if I still love the series as much as we're getting into the second book and as we go on. So I'm looking forward to that. Then, as I was doing a little bit of digging around that, I found that, like I said before, Cleo Coyle is actually a pseudonym that this married couple took, and I didn't write down their names, so sorry, but you can find their books through Cleo Coyle. And they also wrote another series, and that's still going, that was under the pseudonym Alice Kimberly, which is the Haunted Bookshop series. And the first book is called The Ghost and Mrs. McClure. So I want to read that too. Maybe, who knows? I don't as much get into the ghost stories, but we'll see. I might like it if I find the writing is similar to the Coffee House Mysteries, and it fits. So this one is a widow manages a Rhode Island bookstore that is rumored to be haunted. Okay, and then a best-selling author dies at the shop, and then it's supposed to be haunted by this PI ghost who was murdered at the shop more than 50 years earlier. And so somehow this ghost, like, somehow helps the widow, or like that we find out that, because through this ghost we find out that it's that when this author died at the time of the writing of this story, that there might be foul play involved. So somehow there could be foul play, and this PI ghost has something to do with it, or helps her in some kind of way. So I'm going to read that one. I want to give that one a shot and see how that goes. We're going to add a little bit of the ghost story into it. Now, another cozy mystery book I want to read, that is just the second book in a series and just came out this year, is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I really enjoyed her first book, which was Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. And this story is about an older lady who owns a tea shop. Well, the first book, the Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and she finds a dead body in her tea shop. Now, you'd think she'd be freaked out, but she actually kind of likes it because it brings drama. She's a little bit bored, and it gives her something to do, to investigate. And then you get to know this cast of characters. One is her son, but then there's these other people. So that was the first book, and I did enjoy that. It was cute. So I want to read the second one and see if I want to keep going. This is a newer one. Like I said, the Guide to Snooping, Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping, just came out this year in the spring, and the Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, I believe, just came out last year. So hopefully, this is a fun series that we can keep going with going forward. So I'm looking forward to continuing in that series. So in this one, she just is the type of person that finds herself or actually inserts herself into situations, Vera Wong, so that she, because she's bored, I think, overall. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with that one. Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping. It's the second book. Okay. Now, I did a little bit more research because, like I said, I love to read stories about lots of different people in different settings. So I wanted mixes. I wanted maybe some city landscapes, maybe some countries, some different things. So the second book is called that I want to explore, or the next one. I've talked about a lot of books already, but the next book I want to explore is Arsenic and Adobo by Mia P. Manansala, and this was just published in 2021. So I feel like these next several were published more recently, and that they've had a few books coming out, and hopefully they continue with these series. This Arsenic and Adobo is the first in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen mystery series. And the little blurb says that she uses humor and murder to explore aspects of the Filipino diaspora, queerness, and her millennial love for pop culture. That just sounds right up my alley. First of all, I love pop culture. I'm really into it. I always have been. I love like reality TV and all the things. So looking forward to this. And yeah, just kind of seeing where this goes. Yeah, I guess that's all. It just seems like it's right up my alley. Okay, so next one. Um, The Plot is Murder by V.M. Burns. This was published, though, in 2017. So I think there's actually more books in this series. And it takes place in the North Harbor shores of Lake Michigan. And so again, it's like a new series, a new setting, not necessarily a city. So looking forward to that. Samantha Washington is the main character for this. She's a mystery writer who opens a mystery bookstore, but then a shady realtor ends up dead in her backyard. And guess what? She becomes the main suspect. So she has a feisty grandmother and other retirees that help her. So this sounds like a fun found family as well as her own actual family, but like an ensemble. I love a great ensemble, just like a lot of these books have. So looking forward to checking out that. Like I said, it's a completely different setting than I'm used to reading about, and so excited about that. Now, another book or series that I want to look into, this one is Mango, Mamba, and Murder by Raquel V. Reyes, and this is published in 2021. The main character is Miriam Quinones Smith, and she becomes a cooking show star with she is like the morning show segment on a Spanish speaking morning show. So she does the cooking segment on a morning show, and so she becomes kind of a local star. And she had moved, this is in Miami, and she had moved from New York, so that sounds fun, different cultures. And so yeah, she becomes, and so with her newfound fame after becoming this kind of, cooking expert on this morning show, she starts going to these events and things, and she's at a woman's luncheon, and one of the socialite ladies ends up just dying. And so she's there, and so now she's got to figure this out. So it sounds like a cute little family. Other parts of the story, she's a grandmother to a toddler. She has a husband that's going through a midlife crisis. So there's lots of different things. This is from the Caribbean Kitchen Mystery Series, and the author again is Raquel V. Reyes. And so I'm looking forward to trying this one out. It's called Mango, Mamba, and Murder. And yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, another one. Cheddar Off Dead. Cheddar Off Dead. Play on words. Obviously, it's a cheese. It's going to be about cheese, right? Karina Moss is the author, and she published this in 2022. So the main character is Willa Bauer, and she opens a French-inspired cheese shop called Curds and Whey. It's in the heart of Sonoma Valley. Sorry, Sonoma. I knew that word. Sonoma Valley. So that's another, type of setting that I haven't explored really yet. Um, the small town in the Sonoma Valley is called Yarrow Glen, and she's having a fresh start, and she's determined to just make it a success. And so she has this food critic in. Turns out this food critic never really gives good reviews, but he ends up dead, and she's a suspect. So I'm starting to see a pattern here with some of these cozy mysteries that the main character is often, I guess, the main suspect and then has to try to figure it out so to clear their name. So I think that's what's going on here, but we'll see because I haven't read it yet. So we'll find out. All right, so I have one more that I want to talk about. This is called Death by Bubble Tea by the author Jennifer J. Chow, and this was published in 2022. It takes place in LA, the LA Night Market series, and it's about two cousins. So the main character is Yale Yi, and she loses her job at a local bookstore. And so around this time, her cousin comes to visit. I think it said Hong Kong, and her cousin's name is Celine, and she's a social influencer. Well, the Yale's dad thinks it would be a good idea for them to start a um a food stall at their local night market, and they're like, oh, we don't really have experience cooking, but turns out that they start doing okay, especially with her cousin's experience in marketing, being a social influencer. And so a customer ends up dead, and then guess who becomes the prime suspects but Yale and Celine, the cousins. So again, part of that pattern of these the main characters being the suspects. Now, I know I'm probably saying things that those of you who read cozy mystery, you know it all, I'm sure, and I'm just repeating things that you're like, yeah, of course we know about that, girl. That's how it is. That's a trope. But I am new to this genre, so I'm excited to read more. I'm excited to read more. It sounds like there's a lot of found family or just actual family that gets built into these stories. They sound really cozy, thus it's called cozy mystery, right? So I'm looking forward to reading more of those. And I love the idea, like I said, of reading them in different settings. So let's read some country ones, let's read some city ones, let's read East Coast, West Coast, maybe other parts of the world. I know like Thursday Murder Club takes place in the UK, so maybe I'm sure there's more there too, and maybe other parts of the world. So I'm so looking forward to just exploring different authors in this genre. And so if you have recommendations, I will love to hear them. If you could put some in the comments, please, and tell me what are your favorite cozy mystery series. And do you have some that go back like the On What Grounds, and then there's like 20 books in a series that I can dive into? Anyway, thanks so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you on the next vid. Oh, hi. My sidekick actually has something to say.